नाही मला इकडे बघितलं लक्षात ठीक आहे ना पर्याय
Am I audible? Please give me the confirmation. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Once again, a very good morning to all of you, and welcome to our session 5, which is about in this session we are going to see what is how we can automate our emails, email automation, and web scraping. Right. So with this, I'm going to start my session, and the agenda for the today's session is first we are going to see email automation, then we will see key benefits of email automation, how we can read emails by using UiPath, and how we can send email by using UiPath, right? And then last we will see how we can extract data from the webs by using the web scraping method, and we'll see some hands-on session, right? So the very first thing is email automation, and as you all know, markets can use email automations to connect with their consumers based regularly and significantly reduce the time and effort needed to send emails. Right. So email automation is now a digital marketing staple, replacing the traditional task of manually sending emails to every customers with uh, pre-configured workflows. Right. So what is the key benefits of email automation? The very first thing is invest time in personalization, do more with less, scale your marketing strategy with a minimal efforts, and save your time. Right? And then now let me show you how we can read the mails or how we can configure the IMAP properties. Let me open my studio and create a process for DeFi. So if you want, again you can provide a description here. And now we are ready to create our process. Right, so right now I'm going to create a process which will tell you how many unread emails you have in your account. So now let me show you my account first. So I'm going to use my this account, to show you the examples related to email automation. So as you can see in my inbox, I right now I have 13 unread emails. So for this, the very first activity I'm going to use is with password activity. So in this activity, actually you have to provide the password of your account, which account you are using to send or read emails. So right now I'm using my this account. So I'm going to provide the password here. Right, and then create one variable here to store your password. After this, the activity which is used, to read anything from your Gmail account is get IMAP message, right? So this is the activity. Now, in this activity, as you can see from the property panel of this particular activity, get IMAP mail message activity, we have to fill the required data here in this activity panel. So the very first thing in which we have to fill in this property panel is the port, as you can see. So the port for get IMAP mail message is 993, right? And The server is imap.gmail.com, right? So this is the server and this is the port. So if you want to confirm that what is the port number and what is the server name, so how can you get this information? So to get the information of your server and port, what you can do is simply open your browser, and inside of your browser you can type IMAP details for Gmail, right? So IMAP details for Gmail, and from here you have the very first link, check Gmail through other email platforms. If you will open this link, so from here you have this, as you can see, incoming mail IMAP server. So the server name is imap.gmail.com and the port is 993, right? So from here you can get this detail of what is the name of the server and the port. So you can, if you want, you can just simply copy the server name or the port name from here and that data in this field of port and server, right? So the next thing what we have to fill here in this slogan, we have this email and password. So here we have to provide the email of in my case I'm going to provide the email address of this account, because this account I'm going to use for the demonstrative purpose, and so that's why let me open my studio, and here you have to fill the email. So if you don't want to directly pass your email ID here in this field, what else you can do is simply you can create a variable here for your email account, and you can, in this default field, you can store your email ID, right? And then you can pass the variable here. So simply we have to provide the email address here. Now, the next thing which we have to fill here is the password, and I have created one variable for my password. So this is the variable coming from this activity, get password, right? Now let me see what is the next property which you can fill here is, so if you want to delete messages from this account, you can check this option. I'm not going to check this option. Filter expression, and then only unread message. So if you want to work on only unread messages, you can. So if you don't want to work on only unread messages and work on all the messages, so you can uncheck this box also. Now order by date, newest first, oldest first. This is up to you, whatever you want to select from here. So I'm selecting newest first, and then here is top 30. So this is the range actually. So in my case, as you can see, the unread message is 13, but I set this up to the top 30. So this is up to you, what number you want to provide here. And then output, so if you want to create the output to store this result, you can create a variable here. So this is what exactly we are going to do. We are going to create one variable here to store our output. So control plus K and create a output as a get emails, right? Enter. As you can see, I have filled all the properties of this particular activity, get IMAP mail message activity. After this, what I'm going to do, simply use one message box activity here to display the how many unread messages you have in this particular account, right? So this is the very simple process actually. My purpose is to explain you how you can use this get IMAP mail message and all the properties of this, how you can fill all the property of this particular get IMAP mail message, right? The next thing is, now to display the output, what you can type in the message box is count of unread emails is, and then plus sign, and then to display the unread message, you have to use your variable first. So this is our variable, and then count and her dot history. So let me show you my expression. So this is what you have to type there. The count of unread email is getemails.com toString, right? Save this process. And what if I directly run this process from my studio? Will it give me the result of unread message, right? So now let me show you this. Simply run your file, and it will throw us an error. Let me show you. So as you can see, we are getting this error, and it says source is get IMAP mail message, means this error is coming from this particular activity. And exception type mail mail get dot security dot authentication exceptions, right? So we are getting this exception type of authentication exception. So how we can solve this issue? So to solve it, what you have to do, simply, if you are in my case, I'm working on this email account. So what step I have to take is, I have to enable my IMAP settings, right? So for this, first click on this setting option from here, see all settings, and in this, here you have the option of forwarding and pop IMAP, right? So click on this option, and from here you have this option of enable IMAP, right? So you have to enable this option first, enable IMAP, and then save the change, right? So save your change. After this, the second step you have to take is, from the Google Apps option, you have to go to your account, and now from your account you have this option of security here, right? So open the securities, and from the security you have this option of less secure app access. So you have to enable this option also, less secure app access. So here it says turn on access, so turn on this, enable it, right? And it says updated. Now we can close this window, and if you also want to close, or if you want to log out from your account, so you can simply log out from your account also if you want, right? Let me close this also, and now let me run the same process again, right? Save your process and run it again. So as you can see, the count of unread email is 15. Let me show you. So yes, in my inbox, as you can see, I have total 15 unread messages. So this is how, basically this is the very easiest example, just to show you how you can use this get IMAP mail message, and how you can fill all this required field of the property, right, of get IMAP mail message. So you cannot directly run this process or any kind of process to automate your emails directly from the studio. The very first thing is you have to provide the access also. So to provide the access, the step is, first you have to go to the setting, and from here you have to enable your IMAP, and then you have to open your accounts from here, and from this account you also have to enable less secure app, right? So this is the two step which you have to take to run your process from the studio, right? Now let me show you the other examples. So I'm going to create my other example in the same process only. I'm not going to take a new sequence from here, because if I will take the new files from here, or I can say new workflow from here, so I have to create this get password again, and I have to take this get IMAP mail message again, and I have to fill all this property again and again. So instead of doing this step again and again, I'm just going to simply modify this process. So here I'm going to do is, I'm going to take one for each activity. And in this activity, I'm going to display you all the mails from your account, right? So for each, here we have a for each activity. So in this activity, now mention your variable coming from your get IMAP mail message, right? And inside of this body of the for each activity, what we can use write line activity. Here we have this write line activity. If you want to use a message box, you can use that also. If you want to use append text activity, you can use that activity also, right? So it's up to you where you want to display this output. So as you can see, I want to display all the messages. For that, I am going to type the expression here item dot subject, but I'm not getting any property of subject here, right? So for this purpose, what I have to do, go to the for each loop again, and here you have this type argument. So as you can see, the type argument is object. But to work on the mail, we have to change this type argument also. So go to this browse for type, and from here you can select the type of net.mail mail messages, right? So to search the type, simply type system.net mail and then mail messages, right? So mail messages. So here you have this, as you can see, coming from system, right? And then system.net.mail and then mail message. So this is the type which we want to select. Let me select this, and system net mail dot mail messages, right? Now if I will type, okay, so item dot subject. So now you are able to select the subject from the properties, right? Let me save the process again, and let me run this. This process will work if you log out from the account also. Right, so the total, the count of unread email is 50, first message box. And now let me show you the output from this output panel. So here we have the first message from the Google, second message from the Google, and then this third message, and so on. Top 30, it is displaying only the top 30 messages, because here we select, here we have only we are working only on top 30 messages, right? And let me open the output panel first, and as you can see, the very first two messages from critical security alert, which is from the Google, and as you can see from my account, these are the same messages, right? So now you are able to fetch all the messages from your, or the subject lines of the messages from your Gmail account. So what else you can do, instead of using this write line activity here, you can use one append text activity, right? So I don't have any append text activity for this. First I have to download the package. So to download the package, go to this official, and from here you can simply type Word. So here you have UiPath Word activities. Install this activity, save it. Let's just wait for the dependencies. Right? So instead of using write line activity, this time you can use, if you want, append text activity. You append the text to your Word file, So here you have this append text from the Word document, also append text from the Word. And you know the difference. For this activity, you need a Word application scope. So I'm not going to choose this activity. Instead of this, I'm going to take this append text from this Word document. And here, for the path, simply you can type the name of your file also. So demo file, and then extension of the Word file, which is docx. And then here, what you can type, item dot subject, and then save your process and run your file again. So here we have our first message box. This is the count of unread email is 15. And now let me show you the output from here. Open your project panel, and from your project panel you have this file explorer. And here now you have this demo file, right, which you have just created. And here we have the subject lines of all the mails in from my account, right? Now let me close this file, close this. So this is how you can use your get IMAP mail message, and by using this item dot subject, you can fetch the subject lines of your mail. Similarly, if you want to know uh, the from of your mail, so you can simply type from, so that you can get the information who's the person who's sending you the mail. So item dot from. And this because I'm using the append text activity, so I have to convert this into the .toString also. Right? Let me save it, and before running the file, let me clear this demo file first. Save this file. So the total count of unread email is 15, and then let me show you the output from default location, and here we have our demo file. So this time, as you can see, I have the detail who's the sender of the mail, right? So Google, Unacademy, Flipkart, and so on, right? So now we have the details of the sender. And similarly, if you want to check the other things about your mail, so what you can do here is we have item and then dot. So let me show you all the properties of this files. So the very first thing you can fetch this from. Also, if you want to know only the address, so for this you can type from and then again dot and then address. So here you have the address, right? So this is the expression. So if you want to use this expression, you can use this expression also to know only the address of your sender. Now again you have this option of user if you want to check. So this will only fetch the name of the user, right? Similarly, if you want, you can use display name if you want, right? Let me type that. So here we have this display name property also to display only the name of your user, right? Similarly, if you want to see the host, you can simply type host here, so you can fetch the information of your host, right? So these are the expression, or I can say these are the property which you can use inside of your append text activity to fetch all these information from your account, right? So now let me clear it. So this is how you can use this get IMAP mail message activity. Also, let me show you from if I want to display only the user name. So the very first thing you have to do, open your project, go to the file explorer, and from this demo file, simply let me delete all this information first, save my file, and run this. Let's just wait for a moment. So here we have our first message box. The unread, the count of unread email is 50, and then let me show you the output. So here we have this, the name of the users of our mails, right? Now, similarly, let's suppose if you want to extract the informative details into the Excel file, so how you can, extract all the details which I have just shown you from this appendix activity to your Excel file. So now I'm going to show you. So now we have just seen that how we can configure the IMAP properties, and we have also seen that how we can create a process for email automation, right? How we can fetch the different informations. Now the third example is how to extract email details to Excel file. So how you can extract all the informative details to your Excel files, right? So now let me show you how you can do this. So for this, I'm going to create one new sequence here and name it as sheet. With this, what I'm going to do, the very first activity, as we all know, the very first activity is the password activity. So in this get password activity, we are going to store the password of our accounts, which is now here we have to store the result. So for this, I'm going to again create a variable pwd, and then again let me take one get IMAP mail message activity. Right, in this activity, get IMAP mail message. What else we can do here is we have to fill all the properties, right? So display name, if you want to change the display name, you can change it from here. Read timeout ms, if you want to provide any timeout for this activity to stop your execution, you can. And from here, inbox, so we are working on an inbox, that's why inbox. So the port is, again the port is 993, right? And after this, the next one is send. So here we have to provide the server, which is imap.gmail, right? And then after, what we can do, here we have to provide our email address. So the email address, and now let me check the email address again, gmail.com. This is done, and here we can simply mention the password, right? And after this, what else we can do here is only unread message. So if you want to uncheck this option, you can do that also. And here we have this top 30 and newest first. So now create one output variable here. So control plus K and get emails. And now next is we want to fetch all the information in our Excel file, right? So to fetch all the information to your Excel file, you can use here build data table activity. So here we have this build data table activity, and in this activity, first let me create one output here, right? So control plus K, and the name of the output is DT1, and then now we have to create a table here, right? So first I'm going to clear all these columns and extra rows from here, and now we are going to create a column. So column name, so the very first name, let's suppose if you want to extract the date, right? And if this is a date, then I'm going to select the type generic value, right? So to provide the generic value, let me first search for the generic. So here we have generic value from UiPath.code. So as you all know, this variable will, sorry, the type of variable will change string into the integer or integer into the string, right? Let me select this and go to the default settings for the rest of options, and let me hit on OK. So the very first column is created. Now to create more column, hit on this plus icon again, and again let's suppose I want the detail of the sender. So for this I'm going to type from here. Second column is for from, and again from here let me select the generic value and go to the default setting again, hit on. Again, the third column, if you want to also know the subject line of your messages, so for this create a other column for the subject, and string is fine, and all the default setting is done. So now you can hit on this OK button, and our column is created, right? So once after creating a column, we have to fill the rows also, right? Now for this, what I'm going to use, I'm going to use one for each activity here. Drag it and drop it after you build data table activity. And from this for each activity, for each item in, from where? From get index, right? So this is the variable coming from this activity get IMAP mail message activity. And let me first change the type argument so that we will not get the any exclamation mark here inside of the body. So for this, select your for each activity, go to the type argument, and from here let me select the type argument. So again I have to search for the type argument, and which is system dot net dot name, and then field message. Here we have, right? Let me check system.net.mail.mail message, fine. And then now we can work on this body section of our for each activity. So to fetch all the information of date, from, and subject, I'm going so here we have three columns, right? So for this I have to basically I have to need to fetch three information from my account. So for this purpose I'm going to use three assign activity here, right, to fetch all the three information inside of the body, right, of for each activity. So the very first thing what I want to fetch is the date. So create a variable to store your information first, right? And again, as this information is in the generic value type, so we have to change the variable type of, select this, and mail date. So the variable type, let me change the variable type to the generic value, and the scope, from the scope let me select the highest scope, which is a data to Excel. That's it. Again, the next thing what we want to fetch is information of the sender. So for this I'm going to create another variable, control plus K, and this is the name of my variable. And now let me change the variable type of this from generic value and right. And for a moment, let me just remove the unwanted variables from my panel. So are you sure? Yes. And now the next variable what I'm going to create here is to store the subject information, right? So for this, I'm creating a variable here, and as you can see, this is in the string type, right? So let me change the type of this subject variable. Okay, so this is already in a string form, and these two variable in a generic value form, right? And let me change the scope also to the highest scope. Close your panel, and now we have to assign the expression here to fetch the information. So the first one is for the date. So to fetch the date, we can type here item and then dot header, right? And then let me type date. And now to assign this information of the sender, we can simply type, as you all know, that item and dot root. This is the assign activity, so we have to convert this into the JSON form. And then we have this subject. So to extract the subject, simply we can type item dot subject and then dot. So after this, now we have to store all these data to our Excel sheet. So for this, I have this activity add data row. As its name suggests, it is going to add the rows to your data table. Use this activity, and now let me open the property of this add data row activity. So from this property, as the very first thing you have here is array row. So simply mention all your variables inside of this. So the very first variable is mail date, and then comma, and then the second variable is from. Second variable is subject. Here we have the subject. Right. Now let me show you. And now I'm going to remove all these dots. And then save this. Right? To save this, simply we are okay. And then, so where you want to add this row? So we want to add this row in this build data table, and the output of this build data table is dt1. So here you can mention your dt1 variable, right? After this, to write all these information, let me minimize all this activity. So this is the step. Get password, then get IMAP mail message, then we have created one table here, and inside of the for each activity we are fetching all the required data, right? So now the next thing is, give me a second. So the next activity, the next thing, we have to store these data. So for this, let me open one Excel application scope here, right? And in this Excel application scope, first we have to give the path of our Excel file. So let me just simply create one file here. File, I can say demo Excel file, and then extension of this file, which is Excel SX. Then, and then inside of this new section of your Excel application scope, you can use one right range activity to write all the information to your Excel. So again, take a right range activity from this Excel because we are using Excel application scope here. And inside of this, simply mention your variable which you want to type. So in our case, the variable is DT1. Then, and don't forget to hit on this add header option from this right range activity. Click on this add header, and now we are good to run our program, right? So these are the steps. First get password, then get IMAP mail message, then build data table, and then for each, and then Excel application is good, right? Now let me save this and let me run this file. Then save it. Now let me show you the output. So here we have our Excel file with us. Now let me open our Excel file. And so as you can see, now we have the date, right? And then we have the details of this from, and also we have this detail of the this subject line of our messages, right? So I think this is a very useful program for us. Use this also. So this is how you can fetch the details to your Excel file also, right? And create your Excel file. Let me open the slide again. And the next thing is send emails using UiPath. So now we have seen how we can read or how we can fetch the data to Excel file by using a IMAP property, and this time I'm going to show you how you can send email by using UiPath. So the very first example is create a process of email automation to send the mail. Right. So the activity which we are going to use here to send the email is send SMTP mail message activity, right? So this is the activity we are going to use to send the mails from our account. So let me take one new sequence from here, and inside of this sequence let me type SMTP example enter. Then, and the very first thing what we have to do here, let's suppose let me think of a scenario. Let's suppose if you want to auto reply to all your mails, for example, here in this account, as you can see, we have different mails. So what if you want to auto reply to all these mails, right? So how you can create a process to auto reply to all these mails, but in my case I'm not going to reply to all these mails, but instead of this I'm going to use my one different email account from here, and simply I'm going to send the message to me. Excuse me. Right, and here let me type anything instead of this word. And now let me see. Right, so this is my different account and this is the different. So now let me refresh this account. Refresh it again. And now we have this new message from from again my account, and the subject line is testing. So what if you want to reply this coming message of this particular user, or if you want to reply auto reply to all these users, right? So how you can create a process. So for this I'm going to create a process here. So very first activity is get password activity, in which I'm going to store my password. So to store your password, so to type your password here. And then store it in a list. Again, PWD, right? To store your password, and the next activity is get IMAP. We take one get message here, and instead of this get IMAP mail message, we have to fill the properties. So the very first thing is this port, which is 993, and the second one is the server, which is imap.gmail.com, and the next one is here we have to provide our RT. So again, if you want to create a variable for this, you can. Right? So after this, let me mention my password here, and then from here I'm going to select top one because I don't want to reply to all these mails in my account. So instead of replying all these mails, I'm just going to reply only this particular mail from here. So top one, and then after only 100 is fine for me. If you want to uncheck it, you can. And here inside of this output, I'm going to create one variable here. Control plus K and create a variable as mail character. And then what you can use, the next activity is for each. Because I'm going to tell you that how you can create this program to reply auto reply to all these senders, right? Okay, inside of this body, let me mention my variable here, which is coming from this get IMAP mail message. Done. And now inside of this body, we are going to use our activity, which is send SMTP. Here we have this activity, as you can see. So available inside of this app integration, we have this mail and then SMTP, send SMTP mail message. Drag and drop this activity here, right? Now inside of this send SMTP mail message, we have to fill all the required boxes from here. So the very first one is to, so who you want to send the mail. So I want to send the mail to item.from, because we are going to auto reply to all the users, right? So let me first change the type argument of this for each activity. So for this type argument, so here we have system.net.mail mail.mail message here, right? Select this particular type argument and then you can type here item.from. And now inside of this subject line, because this is what we are going to do reply, right? So ready, and then space plus. So after this, you have to mention the subject line of the users, right? Or I can say the subject line of all these mails, right? So to do that, we can type here item dot subject, and then inside of this body portion, you can type your message. So section from here, and here we can type it like plus plus, and then I'm going to use one environment.newline. So environment.newline is basically used to change the line. Environment.newline. and then after use plus sign again, and inside of the quotation you can pass your string. So and then again if you want to use normal property, plus sign, and then hit OK. So this is how you can type something inside of your body. And then now we have to fill the properties of this SMTP mail message. Right. So to fill the property, what you can do here, the very first thing we have display name. So if you want to display the name, to change this display name, you can. And now instead of this, the next thing we have to fill here is the code. Right. So code for SMTP is 587. Now let me show you if this is the right code or not. For this, you can open your Google again, and here we have this IMAP detail for Gmail. Check Gmail through other platform, and as you can see, the outgoing mail SMTP server. The server is smtpgmail.com. Let me copy it from here, and then we have this port is 557. Port for 557. Then let me open the studio again. SMTP. And inside of the server I'm just going to simply paste the server, which is smtp@gmail.com, right? And then here we have this email, so we have to provide the email address here. And then after, inside of this password we can simply pass our valid password, right? And then after, now all the mark is gone. So let me check the other thing. So this is not the mandatory field. If you want to fill BCC or CC here, you can, but this is totally optional. So inside of this two, I have, this is a compulsory, so I have already filled this field, as you can see. And then sender, from, and name. If you want to fill this field, you can, but this is again the optional thing. Now let me save this program and let me run this. Let's just wait. Yeah. Now let me save it again and let me show you the output. So this is the mail, and now let me open the mail from here. So this is the other account. Now let me refresh this account, and here as you can see we have this testing mail from again from my account. And now let me open this. Okay, from inbox, right? Let me open the inbox first. So here we have, and now as you can see, to me, hello customer, thank you sugar, and this is the reply to your user, right? So this is how you can auto reply to all your users. So to auto reply to all your users, what else you can do here is, here instead of selecting top one, because I don't want to send the mail to the other addresses. So if you want to send the mail to the other account, so from here you can change this top one to like top 30 or top 100, or right. So this is up to you. Whatever value you want to provide here in this top field, you can, right? So make it celebrate. And save it. So we have just seen how we can create a process for of email automation to send mail. So here I have shown you how you can auto reply to all your users. Now the second thing what you can do is create a process to send email with a single attachment. So before showing you this example of how you can send the attachment inside of your mail also, I'm going to show you one real-time example of this SMTP, right? So for this, let me create one more new sequence here, and let me type here Let me name it as a email automation. Then create it. Okay, so here we have seen in this previous example, we have seen how we can auto reply to all our user, right? So in this mail, I'm going to show you how you can auto reply to your specific users. For example, let's suppose here I have this book one with me. And in this file, as you can see, I have two pages, sheet 1 and sheet 2. In sheet 2, as you can see, we have different names, right? And the different email ID, right? Again, here I am using my own email ID, but if you want to increase this data, you can. So different emails ID, and let's suppose let's suppose a scenario that you have to send them the detail is project on hand 5 for her and 2 for him, right? And similarly, here we have sheet 1 in which I have two columns, one for title and one for details. So the subject line of our mail is project report managed by, and after this managed by, you have to mention the name, right? Name of your employee. And then inside of this body section, as you can see, we have first type hello, and after hello, I want the name, right? So name of our user to whom you are sending this mail, right? And then total project count under your name is after this we have to pass this detail, that either 5 or 2, right? And then thanks and regard, and then good. So here in this case we want to change the values like managed by who. So here we have to pass the name, and hello to whom you are sending this mail, and then project count, and here also you have to fill one detail, right? So what I have did here, I have just simply mentioned this indexes. So this 0 is nothing but the index I have mentioned here. And again, this 0 is for the subject line, right? And again, when you move to this body section, we have this index 0 and then index 1 here, right? So I will explain you the use of these indexes here in a bit later. Let me create the process first. Let me close this file, right? And how we can send these type of mails. Let me open my studio from here. And now the very first thing is that we have to read our Excel file. For this, use Excel application scope. So here we have Excel application scope with us, right? And inside of this Excel application scope, indicate your sheet. So my sheet is on my desktop. So let me indicate it. Okay, I think this is a book one. See first. Okay, so this is my sheet. Now let me indicate this sheet book one. Right. After this, here in this do section, what I am going to do, I am going to use one read range activity, right? Because we want to read our Excel file. So I'm going to take this read range activity from Excel, and here you have to create the output, right? So for this, let me create an output here in field, which is master DT. Sheet 1 is fine because I want to first read sheet 1, and then you can remove this range from here so that your bot will read whole sheet. And the next activity what I'm going to use here is for each row activity. So here we have this for each row activity, and I'm using this for each row activity inside of this Excel application scope, right? Inside of this new section. Here for each row, current row in your master DT. So this master DT is coming from here, right? So read range activity, and now inside of this body, what you can do is, let me show you the activity which we are going to use inside of this body is known as the add to dictionary, right? So if simply you will type add to dictionary here in the activity panel, and as you can see we don't have any activity here, to add the data to our dictionary, right? So how we can use that particular activity? Go to the manage package again, because we have to install the package for to use that particular activity. And from here, select all packages, and inside of the search box you have to type Microsoft dot activities, and here we have this activity. As you can see, Microsoft activities dot extension by Microsoft, this second one, right? So this is the package I want to use here, Microsoft dot activities dot extension by Microsoft, and install it, save it, and just wait for the dependencies to store. Now we are good to use that activity. Now let me search that particular activity from this activity panel, add to dictionary. As you can see, now we have this activity here from this Microsoft, right? This is the package we have just installed. And now let me show you inside of this project panel. Here you have this dependency, Microsoft.activities.extension, and this is the version of that particular package, right? Now let me close this panel. From here, open your activity panel again, and now you can use this activity. So simply you have to do is simply drag this activity and drop it inside of this body. And as you can see, now we have this pop-up, and from here we have to select the type for our key and our value also. So in our case, the type for the key is in string, and the type for this value is also of string, right? Hit OK, and your dictionary is added right inside of the body of for each row in data activity. Now what information you have to fill in this dictionary is first dictionary, key and value. So for this portion of the dictionary, I'm going to create one variable here, right, to store the key and value inside of this particular variable. So to create a variable, now let me open the variable panel first, and inside of this variable panel, let me just increase the scope of this master dt, and here I'm going to create another variable for my dictionary. So I'm going to name it as a master again, and then type, right? So the type will be dictionary, right? So here we don't have any dictionary type, as you can see. So for this purpose, browse for type, and here you have to type search for the dictionary. So simply you can type dictionary over here, and let me search for the, here you have this, right? So inside of this system.collection.generate, you have this variable type dictionary, t key and t value. This is what we want to use here. Select your desired type of your variable, and here after selecting your desired type, you are getting this drop down options, right? So inside of this drop down option, you have to provide the type, right? So in my case, the type is a string, and then for the value also string. Then hit OK. Now let me show you. So here we have dictionary of type string and string for key also, string for value also. Again, now let me change the scope to the highest scope, and inside of this default field, what I can do is simply type new, and then again dictionary. So new dictionary of, right? So new dictionary of what? Again string of string and string of, and then string, and then comma, and then string for the value also. And now we are good to use that particular variable over here. So So let me mention my variable here, which we have just created to store the dictionary values to our dictionary, right? And now the next thing what we have to fill is the key and the value. So in our case, let me show you my file. So for the key, I'm going to use this title area, right? So the title, in the title we have the subject and body. So for key, I'm going to use this column, and for the value, I'm going to use this column, details column, right? So this column is going to work for the value, and this column is going to work for the key. So now let me open the studio again, and here we have key. So inside of this current row, right? And then inside of this current row, what row you want to use for key? So I want to use title column, and then dot toString to convert it into a string format. And then here again current row, and then again bracket and double quotation, and inside of this let me type details, right? Simply mention the name of your columns which you want to use for the key and which you want to use for the value, and then dot toString. And now let me show you key and title and details. Let me close this file. Now we have just stored our dictionary, and the very next thing is we have to read our second sheet also, in which we have the informations, right? Again use read range activity here, and this is for the sheet 2. So now let me delete sheet 1 from here and name it as a sheet 2. So in this read range activity, I'm going to read my sheet 2, in which we have the desired information, right? The name and the email address and the project on hand, right? And then now let me open Studio. Okay, so here we have to create one variable. So to create a variable, what you can do is inside of this output, control plus K, and create a variable as a email, right? This is a variable. Now close this, or I can say minimize this Excel application scope. We are done with the Excel application scope. Now the next activity we are going to use here is a get password activity to store our password. So for this get password, you have this activity get password. Use it here, and inside of this get password activity, let me type my password here, right? And after this, store my password. PWD variable, and after this what I'm going to use one for each row activity. Okay? So for each row activity in data table, use this activity, and here what I'm going to do, simply mention your variable. So the variable is, I have to increase the scope of our this variable which we have used here in this read range activity, which is email list DT. So now let me increase the scope to the highest scope, right? So that I can use that particular variable over here. Now in this I can mention my variable, so which is a email list DT, and inside of this body now I'm going to use my send SMTP, right? Here we have our send SMTP mail message activity. Use it inside of your body, inside of the body of this particular for each row in data table activity. So here I'm going to type current row, and then email. So this email is basically in sheet 2 you have this row in which you have all the emails. So if in future if you want to increase this data, you can. So this row you want to send, and then dot toString, right? And then for the subject line, I'm going to use my dictionary, right? So for this, use your variable coming from your dictionary activity. So master, and the subject line is for subject. Let me mention the subject column. Subject dot toolstring. It will fetch the subject information from your sheet 1, right? So this is the subject. And now for the body, again I can use my dictionary, right? And instead of this I have to mention the body, right? Basically this is going to fetch the information from here, right? And then dot toolstring. Right? Now fill all the required property of your send SMTP mail message. So port, okay? So the port information, for the port information, let me check the port here. So here we have the port 587. Put it, this port here, right? And then we have this server name. We have to provide the server name also. So the server name is send at smtp.gmail.com. Okay. Over here. And the next thing what you have to fill here is email from which you want to send the mail. So I want to send the mail from my account, which is okay. And then password. Next one is password. And now this is up to you. These are the options which is optional. So if you want to fill this option you can. So here the mandatory field is only this two portion, and now here you have this from and name. If you want to fill those you can. Now let me save it and let me run this file as it is. So here we have type current row, master and body. So simply by writing the expression like this, it is simply going to send this information as it is with the index also, right? Let me show you what I mean. Let me send this file. Then now let me show you the output. So this is my mail and I have sent this mail to here. So here you have this mail from my account, and as you can see in this account we have this subject line project report managed by the index number is here. Again hello we have this 0, and then total project count, here we have this number 1, and then thanks referring this. So here I want to use the name, right? The name of managed by whom, and here we have to use the name again hello, right? So whom you are sending this mail. So now to do this, what you can do, let me open my inbox also, and to do let me minimize this, and here inside of this body I'm going to do the little changes. Let me open it from here. So inside of this body what you can do is master, and here you can use a string. We have string and then dot and then format. You can write it like this: the string dot format dot master, then body dot toString. Let me put this inside of this bracket, and then here let me use one comma and then row, right? So which row? First let me type current row here. save it till this point, and let me make sure the spelling is right because copy it from here. Let me paste it over here. So which row? From which row you want to fetch the information? Then use bracket and name the row. So you want to fetch the information from there. Okay. And then dot string. Basically, it will give you the name of these, right? And then dot to string. After this, let me click on OK. And then after, let me open the body portion again. Because the next thing what we have to do here, we also have to pass the project, right? So after this, simply use comma and then again current row, right? Take this, paste it over here. Paste it. And this time current row is, let me show you, fetch project on hand, right? So let me copy the name of this column, project on hand, paste it here. And then after convert it into a string. So to convert this into a string, dot to string, and then close your bracket and this, right? So now we have to change this subject line from here also. So to change this line, let me open the property again for the subject. So in this, what we can type here, string, right? And then format, and then use one bracket here for master, and then subject dot to string is fine, and then after comma and then current, right? So and instead of this current, I'm going to use the name, and then dot to string, close your bracket and done. Save your process, and now let me run this process. So it says column name does not belong to data table, so it is not able to read that particular column. So for this, what I'm going to do is simply, instead of using this name here, if my bot is unable to read this column name from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mention the index of this column. So the index of this column is row. Simply you can type the zero here, right? Because in my case my bot is unable to read the name column. And again let me open the body, and again instead of using this name here, let me use 0 over here to indicate the index of that particular column. Hit OK. Let me see if now this they will able to read the column. Okay, let me close the sheet also. So now let me show the output from here. Let me refresh it. And here we have the new message at 11:53, and as you can see all the indexes, right? So managed by Shruta and the hello name, and then here we have this number 5. Total project under the count is 5. Now let me show you from this one. So from the sheet one, we have Shudra and the project on hand is 5. Right. So this is how you can use the Excel sheet also and can send the dynamic mails to your users. Right. Now about the attachment, right? The next thing I have to tell you is how you can send the attachment. So create a process to send emails with a single attachment, or if you want to send the multiple attachments, show you the multiple attachment. And here create a process to send email with a multiple attachment, right? And then after we can start our next complicated setting. So before this, let me show you how you can send the attachments also. To send the attachment, let me do the little editing in this program here. So in this we have first use Excel application scope. From here we have this tool section, and inside of this what I'm going to do is, let me see this over here. So yeah, here we have this please find the attachment. So here we have this title, and inside of this title I have this two subject and body, and inside of this details we have this details Shubhra Dubey, whom you want to send the mail, and then subject line and then body line. And in this mail you also want to add the attachment, right? Now let me close this, and here we have only one sheet, which is a sheet 1, right? So I'm going to use this Excel sheet to send the mail, right? So this is my book. Let me open the studio again, and I'm going to do the change. So okay, now let me take the one. Instead of this, let me tell you how you can do this from here only. So let me indicate my book. I think book 2. Yeah, book 2. Select your book, and then inside of this sheet 1 is fine and the variable is fine. Then for each data row, activity for each row, and inside of this we have this master DD, and then inside of this body, here let me delete this add to dictionary, right? And after deleting this, let me also remove the variables, right? And now uh, I'm going to use add to dictionary because here we want different dictionary, right? Add to dictionary again, and here let me use the type string, and type string again. So now dictionary is added. So here we again have to create a variable. So create a variable as the one, and then after this, here type. Let me yeah, here we have this system.collection generic dictionary. Select the type, increase the scope, and here in this field what you can type is new dictionary. So new dictionary of what? Inside of this bracket of string string. And use that variable over here, and then here we have to mention the key, which is a current row, and the title, and we have to put the bracket here. So close this bracket, right? And then dot string. And again now let me copy the same thing from here. Paste it over here. Instead of this title, what we want here is details. this is nothing but the name of your columns, right? And then we can delete this range from here. After deleting the activity, remove the variable also. Then now go back. Everything seems fine here. Now go back. And from here we have this get password activity in which I have my password and the variable. And then we have to use only this send SMTP. Let me delete this whole activity from here. And let me use one send SMTP over here. So in this send SMTP, let me just check one more thing. Here inside of this two portion, I have to type master and then and then dot coaching. And then here I want to use my dictionary again for the subject line, and here you can simply type subject, right? And then again dot coaching. And again here simply mention your master dictionary, and inside of this you can mention the body, and then dot dictionary. And now the main part is where we have to attach the files. But before this, let me fill all this port and server. So the port is 587, right? And the server is smtp.gmail.com, right? And then here you can mention my ID, which is and inside of this password we have to mention our password, and all the fields are not necessary to fill because all these fields are optional. Now the important part of our this example is attach files. So here we have to attach the files which we want to send, right? So here let me create one argument, and as you can see, after clicking on the create argument, we have a direction in and type string. So these two value you cannot change, this two value direction in and type string, you cannot change these values. Over here inside of this value you have to pass the path of your file which you want to send, right? So in our case, first in this, and let me copy the path of the file which I want to send. Let's suppose A550, and let's suppose I want to send this file, demo Excel file, right? So I have to copy the path of this file. So copy the path of this particular file. Copy the path from here and paste it here inside of the double quotation, right? And again the slash, and after this let me copy the name of that particular file which we want to send. Okay, and paste it over here, and then the extension of the file which is XLSX, right? And hit on OK. So this is how you can send the attachment. And now let me tell you in the same time, if you want to send the multiple attachment, what you can do is for the multiple files, create the different argument to send your multiple files if you have more than one file inside of your folder, right? So you have to pass the path again and the name of your file with the extension of your file, which type of file you are sending. In my case I am sending Excel file. Let's suppose if you want to send Word or PDF file, so the extension will be docs and PDF. And again let me hit OK. And let's suppose if you want to don't want to enter the different path here, so instead of using the different file path, what you can do here is you can use assign activity over here. right? In between this get password and send SMTP email message, you can use the assign activity here. And from this assign activity, I have already told you what you can do is you can call all the files and you can store those files in an array of string variable, right? So store the paths in an array of string variable, and simply instead of passing this path, you can pass the variable here, right? Array of string. Type of that variable is array of string to pass multiple files, right? Now let me save this project and run this. Okay, done. Now let me show you the output. Let me open my inbox, save it, and as you can see here, I have this subject line day 5 of FTP on RBA using UiPath, and here I forget to type something in body section, doesn't matter, but here I have this attachment here, right? So if you want to add the body, you simply can mention the body also. So this is all about the email automation from my side, and now let me start the new topic, which is a data scraping, right? So the next topic is a data scraping. So extracting large amount of a data is known as scraping, right? Scraping activities or wizard are available in UiPath Studio. A lot of data is available online these days, but you don't usually have to access a web API that can extract it. And most websites do not offer a features that enable you to, export a copy of this data. So basically, now let me show you what is this scrapping or data scrapping is. Okay, from my studio, let me open my studio, and here, as you can see here inside of this ribbon panel, you have two options. One is for screen scrapping, one is for data scrapping. I have already shown you that how you can use this screen scrapping method. So basically, this screen scrapping method is used to extract structured or unstructured data from your browser or even from your applications document. And what it will do, it will transform it into a Excel sheet or any database you want, right? This is what the screen scrapping is. But again, here we are going to see what is the data scrapping, right? So this data scrapping basically extract the structured data. It only extract the structured data from browser, application or document and send it to a Excel file or database, right? So now let me show you the use of this data scrapping from here. Let me create one new sequence for data scrapping. In here, what I'm going to show you how you can extract data. You can extract data from any site you want. Suppose in my case, I want to extract data from coronavirus. News. So this is the site from where I want to fetch the news. So as you can see, why I'm choosing this site is because in this site, as you can see, here we have some statistics here, right? And these are arranged in a some mannered form, right? These are the structured data. So this data, if you want to fetch, right, by using UiPath, how you can do this? Simply first, let me copy the URL of this site. We have to open this site also, and then go back to your studio to extract the data from that particular web. You can use one open browser activity over here, and inside of this open browser activity, let me paste that URL here, right? Which browser from which browser you sorry, not browser, but from which site you want to extract the data, right? And then inside of this do section, I'm going to delete this do section from here, minimize your open browser, and from here let me select the browser type Chrome, because here I'm using Chrome browser, as you can see. In case if you want to use any of these browser to extract data, simply go to the home, and from here you have this tool option, and you can provide the extension to your desired browser, in which whatever browser you want to use to extract data, right? Now here I'm using Chrome, that's why my browser type is Chrome. And the next thing is, let me open my browser in my web, right? So let me show you what data I want to fetch. So from here, from this static chart, I want to fetch all these data, right? So now let me open the studio again and start data scraping. So here it says select the value. So which means you have to select that value which you want to extract from this particular site, right? So here I'm going to select next, and then as you can see, my bot is smart enough to identify the field, the each field of this particular site, right? So here I'm going to as I want this data, so I'm going to hit on this worldwide only, right? If you want to click anywhere here, you can click, right? So I'm going to use here on a worldwide, because this is a column name, as you can see, worldwide, and inside of this column you have the name of all these countries, right? And then you have this total cases, and then new cases, and new cases last 60 days, case per 1 million people, and the death rates, right? So here I'm going to select on this world. Now after this, as you can see, you selected a table cell. Would you like to extract the data from the whole table, right? So as you can see, our bot is smart enough, because they know that I'm selecting a data from a table, right? So let me hit on yes, and as you can see, here is the preview of the data. Now in this preview here, we don't have this data here, new case last 60 days, right? Because let me show you, here we have this information in a graphical form, or I can say in the form of an image, right? So they are unable to fetch this graphical data from here. And now from here, let me select the 0, because the maximum number of result 0 for all. So here I'm going to select the 0, maximum number of result, and then let me finish it. After finishing, it is asking me that is data spanning a multiple pages. So in our case, let me show you. So no, we don't have the multiple pages, we have only one page in which we have this chart. So let me hit here no, right? Because we don't have a multiple pages. And now here, as you can see, the activity is the attached browser, the first activity, and then we have this extract structured data. And inside of this particular activity, you have one variable here, which is a extract data table variable, right? So now let me open this variable, and as you can see, the type of this variable is data table, means this data is extracted in the form of a data table. Now increase the scope to the highest, and then let me minimize the data scraping also. We have done the data scraping thing, and now let me use one message box here to give the confirmation whether our data is scrapped or not. So inside of this, you can simply type done, or you can simply type data scrapping success, data scrap successful, right? And then let me use one Excel application scope here to write this data into an Excel file, and from here let me select the path. So in my case, I already have a file, let me show you. So here I have one Excel file. So in this file, I have the same, same header lines with the location, confirmed case per 1 million people, and then record and the death rates, right? So I'm going to indicate on my this COVID report file. let me indicate on my that file on the desktop, COVID report, and open it. And then inside of this two section, simply use your right range activity. So here we have this right range activity over here, and sheet 1 is fine, A2, because in A1 we have the headers, header lines, right? And what data you want to write over here, so Excel data table. Then, and let me check add header from here. Then save this program, and now let me close this site from here. Let me close this site from here in this email account, and then minimize your window. Let me save it again, and let me run my file. So as you can see, my browser is open. So here, if you want to use that activity maximize data, maximize browser, you can use, right? Let me hit on done, and that's it. Now let me show you the output. Refresh it, and now let me show you. So here, as you can see, now I have all the data in my Excel file with the location, confirmed cases, case per 1 million people, and the records. This field is empty because in this field we have the graphs, right? And then the death rates, and that's it. Right? Now let me close this Excel sheet. Open my studio, and similarly, okay, we have 15 minutes left. Now let me show you one more example of data scrapping. Let me take one more sequence from here. And in this example, I'm going to show you what if we have the multiple pieces also, right? So for this purpose, let me open my browser again, and from here let me open a Flipkart. So let's suppose in this Flipkart, if I want to search for some books, and here we have the different books, but these data is not in the arranged form, right? So let me search for some different data. Let's suppose from here. So in this case, as you can see, the data is in a arranged form, like Apple phone, and the price is here, and then the name of the phone and the price is here. Name of the phone and price, right? So let me copy the URL, and inside of this new example, first let me open the browser. Instead of this, let me paste the URL, and here inside of this new section, okay, first let me check the browser type, which is Chrome. Now you can start your data scraping. So let me open the browser and then start your data scraping. Select the value. So I want to select this value from here. Select the second element for the demonstrative purpose. So the second element is this. Now rename the column, because this is the column 1, and the column 1 is for phone names. And then we have this URL column 2. Now rename this column as a URL, and then let me hit on this name. So from here I'm going to select this extract correlated data if I want to extract this price details also. For this, now let me select this price from here, select the other price for the demonstrative purpose, and rename is the column as a cost. And here we don't want the URL because we have already created the URL, and then hit on the next. And this is the preview of your data. Now from here, maximum number of results. So the maximum of number of results I want as 0, and then finish. And is data scrapping has a multiple pages? So yes, in our case, let me show you. Yes, we have the multiple pages. So now let me hit on this yes from here and select the next one. And now we are done with the data scrapping, right? So here we have this variable. Again, the same things we have to do. Change the scope to the highest scope. And we are done with the data scripting. The next thing is we have to use one write range activity to write our data. So here we have, I'm not going to use Excel application scope. Instead of that, I'm going to use write range from the workbook. And here I'm going to mention the path. So I don't have any file on my default location. So for this, I'm going to create one file here, data.xlsx. And don't forget to hit on this add header from here, and then A1, and here you can mention your variable. And then if you want to close the browser, you can also use the activity known as close tab. If you want to use the close tab, or if you want to close the whole window, you can use the close window. But I'm not going to use these activity over here. So let me just simply run this. Before running, let me close this particular tab from here, save it, and run the file. So it is extracting all the data automatically, right? So as we all know that we have a multiple pages, so that's why it is going to take some time, 4 to 5 minutes. Right? So let me save this, and as you can see, this is a very time-saving activity, or I can say method. Now let me open this default folder, and here I have demo file, right? Data file. This is our file, data file. And now here you have this phone name, the URL, and then the cost of the phones. Right? So this is how you can extract the data from the web. Let me hit on more. Let me close this. And this is all. This is all from my side for the today's session. Thank you for attending this session, and now you can ask your queries. Please ask your queries if you have.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
मॅडम आवाज येतो आवाज येतो. Hello.
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Madam, is it audible?
Yes.
Hello, madam. Shubha, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you finished?
Yes, sir. This
Okay.
is all from my side.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Participant can ask their doubts, please. Okay, no problem. Good afternoon, all. I am Mr. Kiran Patil, the event coordinator, here to present the vote of thanks for FDP. I would like to thank our speaker, Ms. Shubhra Dubey ma'am, for accepting our invitation for this 5 days full-time faculty development program. This FDP was full of knowledge and interesting things. All sessions of FDP was really informative. I would also like to thank our Honorable Secretary Rahul Dada Madik, Executive Director, Principal, and Knowledge, Mr. Sir, Dean, such a FDP. Also, I would like to thank Mr. A.K. Patil sir to help design different posters, certificates. Also, I would like to thank HOD CAC Mr. Inamdar sir, Mr. K.D. Patil sir, HOD ENTC for giving permission, giving free hand to select a topic and to select resource person. I also thank you all participants present here for paying your attention and learning. Now I declare that this FDP is over. Now there is an announcement. Tomorrow we will share a feedback link. So kindly fill the feedback link. Then and then you get the certificate on your mail. Feedback link is valid up to Tuesday evening 6 p.m. If anyone have problem regarding getting the certificate, they can contact us after Wednesday. Thank you, and all.
Thank you so much, sir. In last, I would like to thank you, Mr. Kiran Patil, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for inviting me as a resource person here, and I would like to thank all the team. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to you all for attending the session.
Thank you, madam.